It's been a while since we painted a sunset, and I'm a sucker for a sunset. As a matter of fact, I saw this sunset the other day, and I want to paint it. And for these little landscape paintings, I always start by taping off the borders in my sketchbook because I think it makes a really cute little vignette. Grab your watercolors and give them a good spritz. And then in one of your wells, I want you to spray some water, and we're gonna mix up a very light blue-gray color. The colors I combined for this are a blue, an orange, and a little bit of pink. Fill your brush with that color, and then we're going to place that down the page until it's about halfway down. Wash your brush and fill it with clean water, and then we're gonna pull that all the way down to the bottom of the page. And I started this on dry paper, but now our paper is nice and wet, so that means that we can have a little bit of fun with the sunset colors. I'm gonna wash my brush, and then I'm gonna dip straight into my pans, but scribble them off a little bit so it distributes them into the bristles. And I'm gonna drop in some different yellows and some pink colors, and I'm doing this wherever my heart tells me to do it. Now the sunset I saw did have some beautiful gray lavender clouds, so I'm gonna make kind of a lavender gray color, and I'm gonna do that by mixing a little purple into some gray. And after I put a few of those clouds in, I can go back and brighten some of those colors up. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm kind of trying to read how wet or dry the paper is, because where it's really wet, it's going to spread around a lot, and then areas that it started to dry, it's not going to move at all. So I'm going to avoid those areas when I'm trying to drop these colors in. Then we need to let it dry or make it dry. And once it's dry, I'm gonna mix up kind of a steely blue color, because that's the color that I always see the mountains as. And I'm gonna do that by mixing together a blue and a reddish orange. And I want this color to be a little bit light, because these are the ones that are in the distance, so we can barely see them. And then once I have the color how I want it to be, I'm gonna fill my brush with it, plop my brush down, and I'm going to try to frame my favorite parts of the sunset with these jagged lines. Bring that all the way down to the bottom of the page. I think it already looks so magical, but I want to add in more layers of mountains, so we need to let it dry or make it dry. And then once it's dry, I want to make a very similar color, but I want it to be a little more saturated. So I'm going to start with what I had, and I'm just going to add more of those two colors together until it's a little more saturated. And then again, I'm gonna fill my brush with it, I'm gonna plop it down, but farther down on the page than the first layer, and I'm just going to kind of squiggle my brush up and down. And then I'm gonna bring it all the way down to the bottom of the page. I think I want one more layer of mountains, so again, I'm gonna make it dry. And then once again, I'm gonna add a little more saturation to that color by using that same pan of color that I started with. I'm not adding any water, I'm only adding more of those colors to it until it's a bit darker. And then I'm gonna add in my final layer of mountains. I really like how it looks, but these always get even cuter when we take the tape off, so again, I'm gonna make it dry. And just like that, we painted a stunning sunset together. I cannot wait to watch the sunset tonight. For some reason, I have a feeling it's gonna be a good one.